Tic Talk, Tic Talk, Tic Talk, Talk.
A real Celtic talk show by real Celtic fans from the Carluke Shamrock Supporters Club on Hail, Hail Media.
Tic Talk, Tic Talk, Tic Talk, 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 Talk.
Hail, hail, welcome to Tic Talk with the Carluke Shamrock Celtic Supporters Club. My name is Michael and this podcast has been recorded on Thursday, 13th of March, not long to St Paddy's Day, guys.
Good.
Yeah.
Sooner the better.
Sooner the better. You can find more information about the club at carlukeshamrock.com and details of the podcast and other Celtic family podcasts at hailhailmedia.com. On the podcast tonight, we will be looking at the last game against Inverness, a solid win from the boys. Looking ahead to tomorrow night's game at Rugby Park, along with the panel's view on Friday night football. We'll then round off with some hot topics, the news, and our usual shambolic shenanigans. Tarzan. So tonight,
You must have been involved in
aye. So tonight on the panel we have
Mr. C. Johnny.
Tarzan.
Biddy.
excellent guys. See, because it's your first time, I'd just like to give you a wee gift. Right, that's for you guys.
Good
All right.
stuff. Proud of you, son.
All right.
Biddy and Tarzan.
I'll let Johnny describe what I've just gave them.
What is it? Is it the keyring?
Aye.
A big
No,
fat
it's not. It's a
bottle.
bottle.
Keyring bottle opener with the Carluke Shamrock crest on it, Tarzan.
We ordered one for the 25th anniversary
Yep.
of the supporters club, which was when last year.
Aye. So there you go, guys.
Right, very good.
All right.
Cheers.
Just for the listeners, the two of them will get massive smiles on their faces now. You know, broke the ice a wee bit there, I think.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, talk, 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 talk.
Okay, guys, the last game against Big Yogi's Inverness, following the defeat by Aberdeen in the Cup. I'd be interested to hear everybody's views on this game. Before we get the views, I'll give you the team first, because obviously, Johnny, it's been a while since that game. Feels like 2 months ago since we last played. The team that day was Foster, Matthews, Big Effie, Virgil, Emilio, Mulgrew, Brown, Bitton, Forrest, Griffiths and Stokes, and the subs that came on that day were Commons, Johansson and Fisher. Okay, who'd like to kick us off?
Me. I thought Lear Bitton was absolutely outstanding that day. You mentioned it was a while ago, but an excellent game.
Yeah.
Of course, Lee Griffiths, hat-trick.
Yeah.
A good performance for Scott Brown as well, and as ever, the defence was its solid self. Can't remember the big man even having a save. I know somebody's got to tell me, because he always does have one.
Aye.
I can't mind him in
Can't
that game
remember
either.
having one in that game.
Aye.
That was straightforward, that game.
So who was at the game then?
I didn't
was
make
at
the
the
game.
So, just myself and Johnny.
That's my first one on it.
But do you sometimes find, but we get a different view if you're watching it at telly to
Yeah, of
feel
course
it
you do.
again, you know what I mean?
Aye,
So,
you're,
so
only
big
seeing,
interest,
you're only seeing half it.
aye, a bit
The
interested
bits they want you to see.
hearing you guys' views as well. You know, being at the game, watching it for like telly's point of view.
Well,
you know?
they're editing it all to make it look good. They're not going to show you a crappy game.
Aye.
It was a live coverage, but wasn't it?
It was a live coverage,
Aye,
yeah.
coverage, aye. So it was good. The thing that annoyed me was that we'd bet Griffiths for a hat-trick. So we did, me, Barra and Fisher. And if you were at the game,
You just wouldn't have seen the third goal.
No, I was there at the end. I was there, but Barra and Fisher left early. And I don't know if you remember, between 70 and 80 minutes, we could have scored 4 goals.
That's
right.
Aye.
And
Had a few chances.
Yes, and Griffiths get put through with Stokes. If you remember, it was a 1-2, 1-2 on the
Aye.
box.
They two played well together that day.
And all he did was sight it into the net, and I thought wee Fisher was a bit of a heart attack.
I'd still get that £14, mate.
So that was Inverness game, solid win there, you know.
And Virgil, he seems to be like years ago when Paul Elliott first came to Celtic. He started off slow, and every game he get better and better and better. And the same thing seems to be happening with this guy.
Aye.
He's getting better every game, and he's more comfortable in the ball. And
Aye.
Would you be disappointed to see him leave then?
oh, definitely.
You know.
Where are you going to get the money to replace somebody, especially at that age? He's only what, 22?
It takes us back to the scouting network. You know, I mean, before he came, nobody knew him.
That's
and
right.
he came, and he was a bit slow at taking off, a bit like
Well,
Wanyama was the same.
his first game looked a disaster, to be honest
Well, that
with
was Carragandi away, wasn't it?
Aye.
His first real big game.
you. He looked a disaster. And I'm like, oh dear. But for there he's picked, he hasn't half
But
picked
yeah,
up.
like
Like,
the English teams will come in and snap them up 6-7. That's nothing to them. They're
no,
stealing them.
I don't think they're not selling for that. I think they'll be looking for a lot
They
there
should
than
hold
that.
them to ransom. Just
Aye.
I think if there's anybody want to come in from Celtic, just slap a price down and out, and it's between 12 to 15 dollars.
exactly.
Oh, I think that's what they're
And
going to do.
let them come in at that, and okay.
Well, the rumour mill's already started at Celtic's after Gunning for Dundee United. This was this week on Twitter, right? And they're saying they're a replacement for Van Dijk. He's not left yet.
No,
You know what I mean?
I know.
I think it's his agent that's starting the ball rolling.
Aye, it is.
I think he's obviously he's hearing things for the EPL. That their teams are going to be interested in the centre half now. The EPL's getting shown up big time in that Champions League. I wouldn't be surprised if the other two went out next week or the week after, whenever it
Well,
is.
they're all a hint, aren't they?
They're all it. Well,
They're all a hint, they know.
I don't know.
No, that
I think Chelsea are drawing, they know.
Oh, that's right, it's Man United.
Man United are behind, but I think Chelsea are 1-1.
Aye. But again, get back to your saying about editing the games. When you watch English football, they do edit it and it doesn't look
aye.
great. And I know guys that follow English football go to the games and it's boring. They don't, they're like, well, you've been to Everton games, sorry. It's not as good as it's made out.
No, the derbies are, but the other
Aye.
games aren't
Aye.
too clever.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, 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 tock.
Okay then, so we'll move on to the Kelly game tomorrow night.
I'm looking forward to it.
Friday night
Aye,
football.
Go on, Johnny.
I'm going tomorrow, aye.
Friday night football. Last time we played Kelly, it wasn't that long ago at Celtic Park, 1-4-0. Solid victory again. No Van Dijk, talking about him, suspended.
Aye.
So
No,
well, he's
no
out
Beaton
in
either.
Beaton got injured in international duty as well.
He's meant to be out for 6 weeks.
Aye.
He Forrest back out again.
And that doesn't surprise me.
Nah. So
He's back and he's out
open
to...
up the panel, talk about the game, how we see it could go, and also is this an opportunity for the youngsters to get a chance?
Aye, well, I think it is. I mean, even that, we're talking about the wee right back, Fisher.
boy.
That boy never put a fit rang
Totally agree with you.
until we played Aberdeen, and then he dropped him and he brought in
The guy that wasn't fit.
the wee Welsh guy that wasn't fit.
Matthews.
And I thought that was unfair, and I thought then that this is, I don't like the line-up here. Even with Samaras, didn't like the line-up.
Samaras shouldn't have been in the team at all. He's no one to play
No,
with. You want players that
to be
want
fair, I
play
would.
for
To
the
be fair, I
Jets.
would play him. Aye.
Well, to be fair on that, Samaras, I think, wants to play.
Well, why will he not sign his
It's
contract?
his agent is pushing things. I think Samaras would stay at Parkhead and be alright. But again, it's like...
But he's not showing it to him, no.
Whether we talk about him not wanting to play or whether he can play, because you know Sammy, he's...
But even
Aye,
when
but
he's on
One week
the
he's in,
back,
1 week he's out.
But one game out of
One
nine,
minute he's in,
one game
1
out
minute
of nine is no good to us.
No, I
even
know,
when he's
I know
on the
it's
park,
like that, but I
he
wouldn't
gives you
blame
the
Sammy
impression
that
his
way, you know.
heart's not in it.
And, but I don't know why Lennon doesn't wear a real down on him.
I mean, European football is a total kettle of fish. Different kettle
He's
of fish.
different, aye.
And he does look the part. He scores
And most
some
of
really
them-
important goals.
And
away.
that's right.
Well,
it is.
I'll pick you up on that.
You know.
As Tarzan said there, in the Aberdeen game, he brought in Adam Matthews out for the cold. He
Yep.
dropped the wee guy.
Yep.
If you remember the game in Barcelona,
Yep.
he done the exact same thing.
That's
And he
right.
brought Matthews and Samaras in,
Aye.
and we get trounced 6-1.
Aye.
And did
Two
they
is
not
worse.
drop Commons that day? Bring him on as a sub and all?
Aye, put him on with 10 seconds to go. or
That's right.
something.
And they changed the game?
No, I'm talking about in Barcelona. He obviously is not going to change the game at 6-1, but
No, that's right. But they played better. That's when they get their goal.
well, I never seen it at that point. I had enough. I'd had enough.
The jet
but do you know what I mean? When you're playing in Barcelona, and you cannot tinker with the team.
No.
It was funny too, because I was speaking to a guy on the Homeboys 2 nights before it. I think it was James, and James, we were going on about predictions, and I'm like, oh, I would like to see us going toe to toe, but no too
Aye.
expansive, if you know what I mean. And then at the end, James gave us his piece. He says, if we go like John says, toe to toe, we'll get beat 6-1. That was his exact words. I've never spoken to him since.
2 days before it. shows you.
Aye, that's what I'm saying, thinking with the team.
Aye.
But yeah, I'm thinking maybe he's trying to get Adam Matthews up to speed for the Champions League qualifiers that are going to hit us, just like that.
Aye, but he's picking the wrong times to do it. I mean,
exactly,
against Aberdeen, that wasn't the time to do it.
Well, he's maybe thought that it was good enough to come in and
He's watching these boys in training every day and that, and maybe thinking, like, you're fit, he's past it, you know.
Well,
That's the difference between match fit and...
Aye, that's right. Well, we've seen that it wasn't up to date.
They've never had a better time to do the treble. With the two of the major cup finals at your own park, and they can't even get to the final of one of them. Well, that's just tinkling with the team.
Aye.
I mean, that night against Morton, I must admit I wasn't at that game.
I was there.
I can't remember why.
25 shots, they had the goals.
They could have done anything else that
I
night.
mean, they played at the skin, and I've bet Morton quite a few times since, and they've lost every time.
The fact
I mean, I don't think they won a game before it, won a game after it.
No.
Kenny Shields had come in, he'll turn it around, he's not done
He's
nothing.
done nothing, that's right.
Aye, that's right.
Come on, it was the Celtic, you say 25 shots. They had the penalty. Quite soft, but they got the penalty.
Are you ever going to say it was a penalty against Celtic?
No. No, but it wasn't a goal the other day either, you know. I'm not talking, you don't tell me what game I'm talking about. You know,
I've seen that, man.
That's
Enough said that one, eh?
No, it wasn't. That was a joke.
I'm going to throw a wee question.
Against Kilmarnock, when we get back to Kilmarnock, look, it doesn't matter who we play, we should be able to do it and put our mind straight and just do it. Just go out and do it again. Let's get the season over with, you know.
They've done well. I mean, a lot of doom and gloom.
But this is a good chance to break some of the young ones when you're that many points in front of the leagues. Put one or two in and give them the last 20 minutes or something.
Then we got to the stage where we're saying, like, he makes changes to do things. Maybe he gave Matthews a game back after injury quick and that, and things go wrong. You've got to watch what games you're doing. And if he puts in a young boy, then does the young boy take the blame of us losing our first game type thing, you know?
I've seen many a young boy being thrown in at Celtic and the promise of the world, and he's never went right for him.
That's right.
There's
Also, but in fairness now, the ones that take away, they tend to make a fair, good career for themselves.
Aye, but they've got a few young good boys there now, you know.
They're out on loan.
Aye, that's
They're
right.
going to Notts County scoring goals for fun.
That's right, aye.
So,
Hingway's getting the blame of everything there, and Standard Lee is, you know.
well, what?
Tony Watt, he's fell out with the manager.
Aye, he doesn't make it easy for himself either, does he?
I thought he'd get back in.
He did.
He did,
He's back out again, he's sliding off.
Aye, that's right. He was out against the weekend there. They won. I think they won 2-0, and he wasn't playing. He didn't get a game. I think it was a sub. Was he not a sub?
Come on, with 20 minutes to go and get the blame of the defeat.
So as I say, we've got two new panel guys here tonight, and I'm going to throw a wee question at you, right? Not putting you in the spot of that. Stokes, Samaras, Griffiths, Baldy, Pookie, combination for tomorrow night. Who would you like to see?
Stokes and Commons for me.
And Commons?
No.
Up front?
No.
There's Commons playing off him with Forrest is out.
Forrest. I think Commons is a better player when he comes back and gets the ball, then goes forward with it, rather than the ball getting played on him.
Yep.
Because he seems to go, and if he can't get a shot away, he's always playing at half, then he's going in, waiting for the ball to come in. So he's giving you two options.
Griffiths and Stokes for me.
Stick with it.
I would stick with that, aye. Because the two of them looked alright together, like. I would stick with it.
The only thing I would maybe change is maybe dropping Griffiths back deeper and playing Stokes up front with Big Baldy against Kilmarnock. Give him a chance.
Well, we could do that.
He's got injuries in the midfield.
I don't think so, but I think he'll
Griffiths
stick
can
up.
tap back.
I think he'll stick with the two up front.
Means you're going to have Charlie Mulgregan back to centre half.
Oh, that's
Well,
right. So another midfielder out, really, you know what I mean?
So you're probably like Forrest, so Samaras is going to play in it.
Well, this should be when you're getting Baldy and that, and Samaras shouldn't even, as far as Samaras shouldn't be on. It should be Baldy and that should be play with the teams, the players that's going to be there next year.
I'm talking about tomorrow night, but he's struggling for a midfield. Well, I agree with Jimmy, with Griffiths and Stokes.
I mean, they two did look the part. You know, there's a conspiracy theory for one of our members, Peter, that he reckons that Stokes will not pass the Pookie because he wants to keep him out of the team. You know, whereas when you seen what do you call them, Stokes and Griffiths, the two of them were a partnership, and you can see them laughing and joking with each other. And, you know,
I'm not
there's cohesion there.
I'm not wearing that.
Yeah,
one.
I mean,
I don't think players deliver good.
I don't think so.
That, like,
you know.
I don't think so. Yeah.
You'd see it if it was there, just no game it.
Well,
But then it was thrown out a mile.
You never know what you're getting for Stokes at times.
well, the young man we were through the other week with Richter.
Aye.
Aye.
Don't come in, I get from the ball myself, right enough.
Aye. But that's what I'm saying, but I mean, with Stokes, to me, with Stokes, the old boys sometimes that sit beside. Oh, he's offside. He's offside before he gets the ball with him. But with Stokes, with me, he seems to make the wrong decision. If there's a decision to be made, whether I pass it right, left, or go myself, he makes the wrong one.
Yes.
You know, and yet,
Seems to be too greedy at times.
I don't know if it's greedy, he's just got this thing to me in his head that he makes mistakes, he makes the wrong decision.
But as long as he does it on the other side of the park, but
But
I'm your boat, I don't mind. He's just trying.
Aye, but I mean,
Are you saying he's not good enough for Celtic?
I think he shows things that he could be good enough. But it's this thing that I think, oh, Stokes, oh no, he's going to make a mistake, you know. But Big Sammy, you never know what you're getting.
He's another Ted McMahon. He gets the ball, puts the head down and he just runs and nobody knows what he's
You
doing.
never know, aye.
He doesn't know himself what he's doing.
I think so, aye. But the same with Stokes. I thought Stokes and Griffiths, because I think they can play it.
Aye, I would definitely play there too. Without a doubt.
Right, finally, on that game tomorrow night, I'm going to get your predictions. Put you all to the test for the next podcast. Mr. C.
3-4 nothing.
I'll go 5-0.
Well, I'll go 4.
I'll
I
go
think
3-0.
Griffiths will get 2 and Stokes will get 2.
What are you saying, buddy?
3-0.
3-0. Lovely. We've got a note of all that, so check that in the next podcast.
Did you know that it's in the Celtic View this week? The last time sort of we played at Kilmarnock, Simon actually scored a hat-trick.
Yep.
Right. And the last time Griffiths played against Kilmarnock, he scored a hat-trick. So, there you go.
Oh, there you're 3-0.
There, well,
6-0.
well that's,
And you're up that to 6 now.
that's just something I read.
So we'll ask Paddy Power in the corner. Tarzan, what's the odds for 6-0?
I don't know, I've not checked it yet. I've not checked it yet, but I'll look at
You
it.
could be a resident Paddy Power, right?
I'll definitely go 5. I'm definitely betting 5-0 anyway.
I'll there with it. Oh, thank God.
Thank God. Excellent.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, 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 tock.
Right, moving on. Last Friday night we had our club event in the Snaffs Hall with the band Missieri, and it was a great turnout by our members, non-members and friends. The contribution by the members, friends for the raffle prize was absolutely tremendous. The band, they play every home game at Celtic Supporters Club on London Road, and again we see them every week and they're absolutely fantastic, and what a night we had. So I'm going to open this up to Mr. C first, who is, I'll say you're the main man of the hall, or one of the main men.
I would.
What would your views be tonight?
I thought it was an absolutely fantastic night. Typical Carluke Shamrock Celtic Supporters Club for backing anything they do and turning up on the night. We had, John, as Michael says, we had a lot of people from outside. Now, how they knew about it and how they came, I don't know. We'll leave Mike go to deal with that. But it was really a fantastic night. And with all these people, we expect it. The Mackay crowd, all the lasses and everybody like that. It was unbelievable, and I couldn't believe the bar never stopped the whole night. And I'll give the bar staff that was on that night a wee thank for that. They were really brilliant. They worked well. But it wasn't a case where people were, to me, were overdoing it. You know, there wasn't like Johnny up there all the time, drinking all the time or anything like that, or anybody else. They just kept constantly enjoying themselves and having a drink, and the whole night went great, you know. I'll be a bit bored getting never do it at the end of the night, but that's all the same.
You can't complain
Good
that.
night. Good night.
I'll get a wee mention in the now for the 6 girls that came from View Park. Kelly and the crowd.
That's what I was talking about. I don't know where they came from.
Aye, View Park.
I knew Michael would know.
And one of the girls, I can't remember her name, slipped when she was up dancing and broke her foot.
Right.
And she's in plaster for her toe up to her knee. And she was supposed to be in London this weekend, so hope you're feeling better and maybe get your trip rearranged for another time.
Was she no up dancing with Ashley, the Irish
Aye,
dancer?
that's who it was. Aye, that's her.
Aye.
She tried to be a wee bit Spanish. She was about 40 odd. So when you're listening to this podcast, then you know who you are. So Johnny, what's your views on it? Because when I looked over at you, you were constantly on the seats, on the tables, punching the ceiling, punching the air. You looked as if you were in your element.
I had a great night, I'll tell you that. I always do anyway when I get
Aye.
the goof warned me twice to get off the chair. That was a health issue.
A hazard.
But
Johnny,
it was
you stand in a chair for health.
But the thing is, Mackay's won the main prize anyway.
Aye.
And it's got to war to see who gets that, actually.
Right, we'll come to that prize in a little bit later in the show when we come to that. Biddy, you were there with your family.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. It brought back memories of all the years ago. We used to go up to the welfare hall. What they called a right rebel night. And everybody just... There was hardly a person that wasn't singing or up after chair at one part of the night.
Aye.
And even although the drink was flowing,
Yeah.
there was nobody
Nobody
who ordered with the drink or nothing. They were just sensible drinking, and everybody was there just having a great time. And that's why I would go as far as to say, everyone I've been to,
Aye.
that must be up there in the top
Aye,
one
it
or
was great. It
two,
was well
especially
working.
just that night. And the band, to me, really made it take, because they just seemed to be constant. There was no, like, one song then 2 or 3 minutes, then another song. They just kept it going. And
The band had been communicating with me for a couple of weeks and giving us times when they could get to the hall, when they were performing, stopping for the raffle money at the bottle and that. And they said, right, we've got a set list. And they were professional for the start. Any other clubs want to book them, you know where to get them, guys. Get us through Twitter and stuff. The whole night, I would say, Biddy, you talked to everybody in that hall. I watched you going on every table. You were dancing on that dance floor. You were in your element. You
I
know?
was going in, it's just you were going in and meeting folk that you hadn't met for years and had
Aye.
a chance to
It was
speak
that type
to
of night,
them.
wasn't it?
And it was just
Aye.
stunning.
One of the other things, I got an email the following day from one of our panellists who's usually on, Kevin McCauley, and Kevin sort of put down, excellent show. Aye, he's not here. We can all get a word in. And Kevin sort of said, when you're listening to this here, Kevin, that we could probably have 3 of these a year. You know.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, 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 tock.
Remember, you can get in touch via Twitter, Facebook, our website and our email address, which is mail@kalukshamrock.com. So moving on, guys, we've lost Mr. C at the moment at the bar. So we're down 1, but what we'll do is we'll move on to hot topics. The first one I'm going to throw at you guys, we've sort of touched on it a wee bit there, is Friday night football. It's the second game of the season on a Friday night, last one against Motherwell. And we've had Saturday at 12 noon at Inverness, we've had Sunday nights at Aberdeen at 6:05. What's your views on Friday night, guys?
I don't mind it. There's usually nothing on a Friday night anyway, unless it's a stupid English game, 4th division or something like that, you know what I mean?
Aye.
So I don't mind it. Aye, that's fine. I'll look forward to that on the Friday night. And
So
then,
you're looking for the kind of view watching it in the telly sort of idea.
Aye.
We'll go to Johnny now. What's your views on going down anywhere on a Friday night, Johnny? See if it was Aberdeen a Friday night, what's your views on that? Kilmarnock's not far for us.
Aye, well, we'll still go up to Aberdeen, but the last one at Fir Park was handy, it was down the road. There was nothing else on the Friday night, but this Friday, I'm going to Kilmarnock, and I'm going to hurry back, because young Kevin Haverstock's 21st.
That's right.
So, things like that will come up on Friday night football.
That's right.
But I'm all for it, I enjoyed Fir Park, it's a great atmosphere, although
Aye.
they kind of ripped the seat carry on a wee bit out
Aye.
they ripped the arse of that a bit, but I'm all for it. Bigger crowds, definitely.
What about yourself, Biddy?
Well, there's a lot of guys that can't go on a Saturday because they're working, can't they? No, and want to go, and
Great point.
they're going to midweek games,
Aye.
Fridays, Sundays, and the way it's going now, it's the television's going to dictate when the games are on the telly.
well,
It's not going to.
they're dictating it.
It's not the SFA. It's going to say there your fixture sheet.
That's right.
The television companies are going to go and say, that's if you want the money, that's when you're going to play
dictates.
them.
Aye.
We can get bigger and more advertising at half time and this and that on a Friday night and we come on a Saturday morning.
Well, at fair part that night there were hundreds of people looking for tickets. You never get that at fair part.
It's
Aye.
never
On
even
a
a
Saturday or
sell.
Sunday,
A Saturday or a Sunday,
you never get it.
you'll never get that. You'll have hundreds of guys with bundles of tickets giving them away. But on that night, there was a right few guys looking for tickets.
Mr. C, Republican or Republican, what's your opinion on it?
I don't know, it's a struggle for me on a Friday night, because Friday night, most of the times that maybe go to work and things like that. And like tomorrow night I can't go and watch it or anything. So
Aye.
I'm not too sure about Friday night.
Right. Well, we were in Marshall's for the Mullow game, Marshall Summerhouse, and I think there was 40 oddies in it, and what a night we had that Friday night. And we'd end up, we turned into a karaoke at the end of it. You all came up for the game and all that, what a night we had. You know what I mean?
Had it?
Ah, you were in
You again, Johnny?
You were up singing Mark the Knife.
No, I wasn't.
But that's one of the topics I was wanting to bring up. My next topic here, this is one that I think is absolutely phenomenal, right? It's Celtic Park hosting the Scotland Ireland game, right? And the reason I want to throw this at you, right, I'll throw a few points at you first and I'll get your opinion. Scotland fans are making it out that it's a home game for Ireland, playing at Celtic Park.
Rubbish.
Pathetic.
Right, exactly right. The management team of the side, Strachan and McGee for Scotland, with O'Neill and Keano on the other side. You've got Brown, Mulgrew, Forrest, they'll probably start. You've then got the possibility of Stokes maybe start, I can't see it. McGeady will be playing. Big Davy Marshall, Robbie Keane, Dan O'Day, ex-Celtic guys. You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, the draw, nobody's fixed the draw or anything like that. That's the way the draws come out, and it just so happens that that's the two guys that's the managers of the clubs now.
Correct.
So there's no problem with it with me. I think it'll be great.
Aye.
And I think it gives Scotland a big advantage enough. With the biggest stadium, get the biggest crowd in.
Aye.
So I think Scotland's got an advantage out
Because
there.
there was a lot of Scotland fans wanting to move it back to Ibrox, and they were saying, if they move back there, they're going to lose 440 grand.
They're losing 10,000 fans for a start.
You know what I mean?
So that's too much money for Andy to
They
lose.
need to give Ireland for a Champions League game, I think it's 5%. So they would need to give the Irish at least 3 to 5,000. So you've got 55,000 Scottish fans. So it's a no-brainer.
Of course it's a no-brainer.
I mean, I don't believe that's the Tartan Army. Kind of guys. I believe this is another.
It's the media. It's the media.
Faction.
Only Scotland game has
It's not the media. It's not the media.
The media have been led with the same crowd as we know we're talking about.
Aye, of course it is.
Am I not right in saying Scotland have played Ireland before at Celtic Park?
I don't know, Johnny, I never looked.
I was at the
up.
last game at
Never
Hampden, and I was in Ireland then.
Aye.
And when I looked across, we were in the Ireland fans at the old Rangers end of Hampden, if you want to call it, alright. And I wasn't far away from the Scotland fans. And the amount of Scotland fans that were out with Union Jacks, Red Honey Ulsters, Rangers taps, and that was shocking. And that happened, and I'm not bullshitting.
of course it did.
McGeady's came out yesterday and he says that he knows he's going to get abuse, blah blah blah, for fans for turning court.
75.
James McCarthy had the chance, and Scotland had the chance to take him, and they never wanted him. He wasn't big enough, he wasn't good enough. Look at him now.
Aye, but I think McGeady's a bit off the mark in saying that, because I don't think he will get abuse.
I think he'll get abuse.
Aye, but he'll not get it. He'll not get it.
Get abuse. The same abuse as they would get to Hampden or Ibrox or anything.
Aye, but it'll not be nothing to. But I think he's trying to make it.
75% of the Scotland supporters, they all come from Aberdeen, Dumfries. Very seldom they come from Glasgow. They all come from Aberdeen, Dundee, the Highlands. They're all the ones that all come. And hardly
Well,
anybody.
it used to be in the 60s and 70s, it was the hardcore Rangers supporters, but they don't support them now, which is fair with me.
Well, you can't have the old saying, was made of the
I don't
Celtic.
go to their games, but I've always wanted them to win.
Where would they want to play for? Say we were playing England, and where would they want to play that?
I broke and all likely.
But you can't have the old saying was Celtic players couldn't play with blue jerseys.
What's that, buddy?
The old saying was Celtic players wouldn't play with Scotland because they didn't want to play in the blue jerseys.
I'd expect that for you, Mr. C, something like that.
Well, I've got to admit that I've not been at very, very many Scotland games. I could maybe say I wouldn't even count them in one hand.
Well, I used to go to a load of them, man, when I was in my teens and that, man. I used to go to loads of
I
them.
never went to them.
Right.
Because I can remember one that I went to. I was at Hampden and it must have been 60s, 70s, around about 70s. Before or 70s, maybe. Bobby Murdoch was playing. And Wally Henderson was outside right. For the unknown reason that Wally Henderson was a better player than Jimmy Johnson, but there you go. Wally Henderson was playing it outside right. Right, so I'm in the Grand Scotland game, watching this game, just to see the game. And it was why don't you pass the ball to him, yeah, so. No, can't mention these things now, And it,
Say FB.
and that was going on all the time, Why don't you pass the ball to him? So then Murdoch did pass the ball to him. He tried to get his leg broke. And that was good. And that's a big memory that I've got the Scotland game.
Well, as Johnny says a minute ago, the biggest majority, whenever I was
Well,
away,
there's always Rangers supporters,
was mostly Rangers supporters. And I, Jim, I've heard the kind of stuff that you just says there and all.
If you're a Celtic supporter and you look at the many caps the Lisbon Lions got compared to anybody else,
Aye.
you just draw your own
Aye,
conclusions.
they get picked for a panel then, didn't they? Journalists, I'm sure.
I don't know who picked them.
Are you saying,
I've said it before.
are you saying the players were like that as well, Jim, as the fans?
No, the
Like,
players,
as in, like, a
no,
Celtic,
the fans that were there, the players and the selectors or whoever.
Selectors, that's what I was looking for.
Selectors.
yeah.
I mean, just look at the Lisbon Lions. How many caps did they get? They were in the best centre half you ever could have at that time was Caesar. Right? The best half-back line you could get was Crevin, McNeil, and Peacock, but Peacock couldn't play for us that, Then you had Murdoch, McNeil, Clark.
Yep.
They never got caps.
Murdoch and McNeil got a lot of clap, not a lot.
No, McNeil.
John Clark only got cap
You know
once.
who the golden boy was then? Jim Baxter. He read a few
I
days
didn't mind that. I didn't mind. See, it would have been Crennan, McNeil and Baxter. That would have made sense to me. But see when it was McKinnon.
Aye, Tam Forsyth and guys like that.
And there's one that stuck in my mind the whole time, or two. Ian Muir.
Arsenal.
Man Muir. That's what he was. He
Before that
was
time, yeah.
Dundee and all that, right? And there was another guy called Jackie Plenderleaf. Right? Played with Hibs. I think he went to Man City. Sorry, I don't know you. Now, I knew the guy well. He stayed near me. He couldn't lace my boots and I'm nothing. And he was getting a cap before Billy McNeil.
Aye, it was the selectors then, so you know who they were.
Just they went to the ring schools.
Played in the ring, colours.
What's your opinion on it, Tarzan?
I tend to think that, like they were kind of kept aside to let the
Others?
a better was how I can word it, like
Right.
just to let the other people in them may as well say then,
It's not like that now, but
No, I don't think so.
I think that's
there's no great love who the Celtic supporters with that army, but there are a lot of Celtic supporters go and watch Scotland. And I for one, will be supporting Scotland. Well, you're Irish.
That's fine.
That's fair enough.
Well,
You're Irish.
yes, that's understandable with you, like.
I mean, I'm
He doesn't know what he is.
Right, I'm going to move on here for this topic, because obviously some of the guys have got other things on tonight. This side I want to ask you a wee question. We'll start off with Tarzan here on this one, because we were talking about this last night. Areas we'd like to strengthen in the team. Players that we realistically can get as a club. Remember, they're coming to Scottish football, right? We're not going to get Vincent Kompany and guys like that to fill Van Dijk's place.
Right.
But who realistically can you see coming? Is it players for other Scottish teams? You know, who would you...
Well, they're not going to. They're not for me going to splash out £6 and £7 million in players now. So you're looking at maybe players for a couple of players for other Scottish teams. I don't think they'll go wild and get a few like, and I think they will look at the lower leagues in England and all, like they done for Hooper and what have you. But because they're not going to splash out £5, £6, £7 million, that's what they're going to do, and then they're going to look to get like the Hoopers and Wanyamas and that. I think that's the way they're going to be doing it for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, Tony Watt coming back, it's like a new signing. If he
well, that's right. Well, that's right. I think that's the way they're going to go for the foreseeable future.
Be yourself, Johnny.
I agree with Jimmy there. I do think we need to strengthen the centre half. I'd like to see another centre half.
Challenge Big Effie.
Effie, I'd like to see another right back, a left back as well.
Aye, definitely.
Because if Emilio gets injured, you've no really any cover. You're talking about putting Charlie back there.
Aye.
And he's much maligned when he gets back there, Charlie. And it's a shame because we've all voted him Player of the Year, yet we can't find a position for him yet. Maybe stick him up front one week. See if we can do something.
Well, I reckon he'll be playing left back for Scotland against the Island. It'll be him and McGeady against each other. Definitely, that'll be happening.
And we've got to get somebody with a touch of class in the midfield.
Anybody in your thoughts?
Well, aye, but we're not going to get him. I would love to get that wee guy for Dundee United.
Ryan Gold.
Aye, but I don't think he's going to Celtic. Aye, he might be going to a bigger team than that.
I wouldn't say they're a bigger team if you're talking about Everton, but the enticement of going to English Premiership possibly could be the case.
I've never heard the transfer fee.
I know that Martinez sent up his scouts to watch him a couple of times.
But the thing is about him, any time Celtic's played him, mind it? I'm like, can't wait to see this week. And Jackie never played him against Celtic, can you mind that? We beat them 5-1 or something. Because
he played at Fir Park and he was world class that day,
he's unbelievable.
He's a cracking player, man. He's a cracking player. But again, I think if Celtic they put a bid in for him before an English club gets a bigger puts in. And what's he want to do? Is he want to go and get a game with Celtic, or does he want to go down there and sit on the bench? And that's if he does get to the bench. You know what I mean?
Liam Miller type.
Aye. So I think if they put a bid in for him, a decent bid.
Coaches Dundee United under 19s. Mulderberg's youngest laddie, and he's told the Celtics up sniffing round about. They're not just in, there's about half a dozen of them. Dundee United's got half a dozen, and they're all as good as this young boy Gold, and they've been there for about 13, 12, 13.
Well, if they're all as good as...
And
we've got problems.
our Sean says that same odd just starting to ripen and come good at once, and that's one of the reasons the wee boy Ryan Gold never went. He says, I'm not going down there to get pinned. Say it was Stoke he was going to, or any of the teams. I'm not going down there to get Fant out to play in the youth team or the second team. I'm not going to get near that first team. I'm at Dundee United and I'm playing first team football every week.
Guys like us will never ever get that money in our life, so we don't know what it's like to be offered, for getting 20 grand to be getting offered 80, so you really can't comment.
Well, the wee boy told her, Sean, it's nothing to do with money. He says, I'm staying here because I want to play football and play every week.
Plus his family's here, and he would make, if Celtic did go and get him, he would make good money.
Well, he'll make good money.
You know what I mean? If you can't live on the money that they're getting, there's a problem there.
Big time.
There's a problem there.
Get back to what you said there, buddy. I picked on something there. He said his name was Sean. How did he get a job up there? That name.
First name Sean and second name Baxter.
Dundee?
That's from my brother's side.
Having Bonner Brown.
Just the last topic I'm going to throw in here. This has been coming up quite a lot. Peter Lawwell was obviously quoted as saying about the English Premiership again. Celtic's too big for it. Are we too big for it? Is Scottish football going down the hill? Is the competition not going to be there? Anybody get any thoughts on that? That was a wee topic that's come up the last couple of weeks.
I have, because I watched a team last night, Bayern Munich. What competition have they got in Germany? Is there any problems with German football?
No.
There's Morton put Celtic out the cup. Aberdeen put Celtic out the cup. Beat us
twice
the other night there up at Pittodrie. I mean, we've been beaten with St Mirren in a final. Sorry, that was a semi-final. We beat Hearts in the semi-final.
Inverness, Ross County.
No, but I'm talking recently.
Aye.
If we get beat in the final, who beat us in the final? Kilmarnock. I mean,
Kilmarnock, League Cup
you
final.
know, the doom and gloom will come for the gutter press,
Yep.
which I tell people not to buy. I still say Celtic fans buying that are part of the problem. I'm telling you, unbelievable.
Well, I buy the record, but that's only to get the horses.
My wife does the crossword.
It's unbelievable, but you look at Bayern Munich, they win the league every year. Real Madrid or Barcelona. But then you're getting this Atletico, but they'll fall away. They'll lose the plot. Watch them. As soon as they're getting beat, they'll crack up.
Well, Real Madrid 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I think the trouble with the thing about going to English Premier League is basically TV money.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing.
That's what it all boils down to,
That's
isn't
the
it?
difference. You go to the English Premier League, if you're playing in England, your money is like 50 times or something like.
Aye.
You know?
That's another thing. You hear Harper lives in, I think it's Drogheda.
It does, aye.
And it's, I know, you know, well, you think you live over here, everybody supports Celtic, they might well do, but they've got a first team, and that's either Manchester United or Liverpool, Everton,
Leeds
Chelsea,
United.
Leeds. All these teams come, although they do support the Celtic, they want them to win, but if the Celtic's on the telly, and the other team they want to play is on the telly,
It's the other team.
it's the other team it's on.
Aye.
If you're in Dublin and the fit was on the telly, and you'll struggle to get a Celtic game if it's an English game on.
Unless you're in Donegal or Falls or that.
Right.
Where you'll always get the
See, I've got
Celtic
this belief that I never ever thought I'd see the darts side, the 4th tier of Scottish football in my lifetime. What happened? I never thought the authorities would have done what they've done to them.
They didn't have an option.
No, but even at that, did you think it was going to happen? I remember the days leading up that Johnny and I would text each other every day. Has it happened yet? Has it happened yet?
Well, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that.
Let me finish
25 years ago it wouldn't have happened.
Right, exactly. But see where I'm coming from that is that I never ever thought it would happen in my lifetime. And I always said it would never happen that we would join the English Premiership in my lifetime. See now, I've changed that opinion. I think it might happen in my lifetime.
Aye. But well, the reason it will not happen, it's not happening as much with the now because there's too much phones, internet, you name it, and there's too much freedom of.
Are you the work?
No, I mean, right. So everybody's entitled. Everybody can get information easier.
Yes.
Right. Whereas 25, 30 years ago,
Right.
you wouldn't have got that. That would have been that's all kept in house. That would all have been kept in house.
Whatever David Murray told John Traynor to put in the Daily Record,
But go on.
They believed it.
Right.
Correct.
That's right.
Space shuttles.
I'm just surprised it never happened.
So that's how.
I'm surprised it never happened years ago. Because they had been spending money for years that they never had.
But that's what I'm saying. And nobody had all the access to what they've got now.
Aye. That's
And
right.
because everybody's got the access to everything now, they can't hide it.
There's
Or they
no
can't
hiding
hide it as
Sure,
much.
when they went to 9 in a row, every year they were buying the league.
That's correct. There's
They were
a
going
guy.
out, there was no transfer windows. They were going out, they get injuries, going and buying players, going and buying the likes of Mark Hateley and everything. They've not got the money.
No.
They were buying using the bank.
But see, but
Same
then,
guy
that's
was
why
giving
you
them the money.
have
Aye.
It was the same guy that was trying his damnedest to get Celtic closed down. Because they're a guy that we know through the podcast, and he's in the middle of doing a documentary about it now, and he's wrote books about it, and he's come up with unbelievable facts, and it is facts. That's what's happened through the
They
years.
just went out and bought everything. and bought.
No.
Alec Dawson.
Who?
Alec Dawson, no?
No, a Celtic fan, just
All right,
us.
right.
And he's
Or
got
Phil?
he's got to the bottom of it. And basically, I mean, it's the things that you read in these books are absolutely unbelievable.
Yep.
Although I've been in his house at times, and I've no so much him. And folk would say to me, "Oh, shut up, you're paranoid." And I'm like, "I'm not paranoid. This isn't right."
I would say about 80% of Celtic fans have been called that. I would agree, Johnny.
You know
Totally.
what I mean?
Celtic.
Oh no, but he's on about years ago. He's on about years. He's on about even they're started the 9 in a row stuff and all that. You know what I mean?
Different things, aye.
He was saying that then. There's something no right here and all that. No.
See, they're running
And he's been
about,
paid right at the end
they
of the
were
day.
running about signing loud drops and this and that. They was Celtic, Andy Payton. And Celtic were having bigger crowds every week, bringing in more crowd than what Rangers were.
But I don't know. So that goes back to way back 1900s, 1920s.
Oh, but we were near about then when you were.
Ah, right.
Good one, didn't he?
Good one, Biddy, good one. But it did happen. That's how Rangers became the club.
They were.
Rangers were nothing when Celtic started up. And Celtic started up, Rangers were nothing. And they played one another and they played on for years and years. And then all of a sudden, you get the influx of people from Ulster coming out here for jobs in the shipyards and everything. And it was the Harlan and Wolves and all them, and the people coming out from Ulster, they put the money up for Rangers to become
sectarian.
the opposite of these people from the East End of Glasgow. And I just read that 2 weeks ago.
Aye, that's true.
I didn't understand it. You know, I knew things about it, but I didn't understand it was a way back to then.
Oh, I think it's back a long time, man.
The shipyards put the money up, so they were buying things then.
Aye, all the way back, Harland and Wolf.
Okay, they were buying things with money they did have because somebody gave them a bit. They were still buying.
You look at teams like Man City and Chelsea buying out with their means, but they've got the guys to back it up. You know what I mean?
But you know, their problem with that is, what if that guy decides, like Romanoff and that,
I'm bored.
No, Sam,
I'm bored.
I've had enough. I'm off.
Exactly.
I'm Bahamas, I've got a mansion out there, I'm off. I've had enough of this now.
These guys on big contracts for 5 years.
But they're in
Well,
deep.
look at it, Stephen.
The
There's
deep
only
stuff.
24 of them can win that English league. See, because all the other teams are spending the money that Man United have been spending for the last 6-7 years. That's how they're making Man United look like an ordinary team now.
Aye.
Because they had all the money with the other teams, didn't they?
Better believe it.
It was like Man United running about, we're a Ferrari and all the rest of the teams running about wee mini-metals. That's what it was. And see now they've all got Ferraris.
The sugar daddies come in and they knew they've mortgaged all their clubs to these American guys. That's a joke, man. They're not 500 million in debt. Real Madrid and Barcelona are the same. They're
That's
not
right.
corrupt as anything.
And the government the government put Real Madrid out of hole.
What happened with the Neymar transfer? Was that not a problem with that as well recently? The tax on it?
It's not just
How could they
that.
not get jeopardised for Europe then?
Well, there you are.
Well,
But that's another thing.
Top 16. After that, you just not just start the Champions League at the top 8, you know the rest of them, the money they get. It's just a fix for the top 8 teams.
But it was Dermot Desmond came out last week and he says that Celtic's the most profitable team in the UK.
Sometimes I wish he wouldn't come out with stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean?
We're sitting there in overdraft, we're sitting there in profit. Alright, we're saying some players, Celtic them on.
I know, but he's saying but one of the things he says that we're invest on the Parker. You know what I mean? And that's.
Or considering what he said was considering that the money that's coming into Celtic,
In
to the
comparison
money they're making, to the
south.
money to everybody else,
Yes.
and to the results that they're all getting, to the results we're getting, we're at the top.
So
And
he's saying
he's not wrong.
No, but I just sometimes wish it's like players, man. It's like players. I just wish sometimes they would shut their mouth and just get out and get on with it.
Aye.
Know what I mean? Because you've seen it too many times.
Well, you get it.
They come out in the paper and they do this, that, the next thing. Then they go, Morton out. You know what I mean? Boom.
yeah.
When you say it with them and that a bit, why doesn't he put his money where his mouth is?
But he has done.
Why, he has.
He has done.
That guy's invested some amount of money.
It's getting in for him.
We don't know. We don't know. But they know is that he has been putting a lot of money
And we're
into Celtic.
financially secure.
Aye, that's
Top
right.
line.
That's right.
Aye, we punched above our weight.
But he's not putting the
That's the
money.
thing.
He's not putting the money in to make the money back.
Aye, well,
Update.
probably we did.
His money. But he's no throwing his money away.
Fair gets drew the line. Don't spend any more money than you bring in and you'll never be in this situation again. And they've never done since then.
Aye. But do you not believe then that that's where the comments come from? We have punched above our weight in the last...
Europe?
In Europe.
Well, absolutely.
Big time.
Absolutely.
You know what I
It
mean?
was proved in Barcelona when you beat 6-1. That was coming, by the way.
Aye,
It was
that
always
was
coming.
coming.
And know when it's going.
happened a lot of times, Johnny.
Do you know where it... I hope I'm wrong, but it's going to happen at Celtic Park once it's one night as well.
Aye,
I hope I'm wrong.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, 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 tock.
Okay, guys, that was our hot topic section. I'm going to quickly move on to the news section. We've got quite a lot to get through here, so just bear with me here. Recently we had our fundraising night, and I'd like to throw out a few thanks to Stephen Sullivan, the author of the Sean Fallon autobiography. He gave us a copy signed by himself, which I believe
Liam Mackay
won it.
Best book ever written.
By the way, do you know something, Jim? I've heard that off of quite a lot of people, and I've no idea.
I've tried to push it for a long
Seemingly
time.
it's not your typical autobiography. It's all cracking stories in it. It's not just bragging about how good they were as a player and stuff.
Doesn't brag about everything. He's an honest, brilliant man, and to me, he's Celtic.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
the impression I got here.
Also, John O'Farrell from the guy we had on the panel a few weeks ago, CelticCanvasArt.com, for donating the major prizes. One of the major prizes, sorry, and again that went to the Mackay family.
Oh, for goodness sake.
You know, that was the Billy Neil lifting the big cup and the canvas, which you can get on the website CelticCanvasArt.com. Look good in your living room, Tarzan.
Of course it would. Give me one.
Also, you'll know that there's major refurbishment going around Celtic Park just now, and there's photos on the Facebook, Twitter account of our club. That's expected to be finished in April, so any of you guys away the other side of the pond and that and get a look at how Paradise is looking. The New Orleans Celtic Convention will take place on the 2nd to the 9th, to the 2nd to the 8th of June this year. You can follow this on New Orleans CSC and at New Orleans CSC as well for more details. There's also a newly formed Celtic Supporters Club from Lisburn in Northern Ireland. I caught this on Twitter a few weeks ago there, and wish the guys all the best from the club. St Patrick's CSC Lisburn are called. They're on Facebook and they're on Twitter. And their Twitter line, Tarzan, this is for you, being a Twitter man, is at Lisburn Boys.
Well, I wasn't until last night, till you blew it.
Very good, very good. So you better get there, guys. Latest minutes from the open meeting of Celtic fans discussing the OB Act, stewarding, police, other issues can be read at celtictrust.net. Detailed transmission of the upper tier tax tribunal now available on the Scottish Football Monitor site, which is tsfm.org.uk. Both the HMRC and Murray Group have concluded their cases, and Lord Docherty will now decide if providing his own judgment or possibility of instructing the case back down to an all-new first-tier tax tribunal.
Excuse me, hold on. Is that the guy that's a Celtic fan? That they plastered all the rags?
Possibly.
Put a wee bit of pressure on him.
I thought you were going to look at
No.
Good one, Tarzan.
Don't look at it. It's not hard to hear.
No. And finally, information templates and contact details for challenging the SFA and SPL corrupt in the Lord Nimmo inquiry have been supplied by at Aldhead on the Scottish Football Monitor site. So that's our news, guys. Thanks for that.
Shambolic.
Thanks, Chico. For Shambolic tonight, I threw out to the panel the following, which is Celtic stories. As a club, with friends, trips to England, Ireland and Europe, and characters past and present of our great club, Killick Shamrock. Who's want to kick us off?
well, I'll kick that one off.
Tarzan, fire in.
But your one that you always put me up for was Bray.
When was that, Tarzan? How long ago was that?
That was
I think there's actually...
Paddy Bonner's testimony.
Aye.
That was...
early 90s.
Was it as long ago as that?
No, it was 90s, aye.
Years all been earning minibuses and that, and me and Big Steph O'Neill, they're like, no, we're no good with them, we're no good.
But see, before they start that wee story, see when before we go in the minibus, we all left for the old croon.
Right.
On a minibus, am I right?
Aye, they went on the train.
And
We went in the train
and
and
the old
got the
croon,
C-cat.
well, Bobby, rest his soul, remember? Old Bobby, was it Bobby Frame?
Aye.
And Ben Duddy jumped over the bar and threw everybody's bags out to his off to go into the bus.
Right.
And forgot his own.
Aye, stinky, did he?
So we all went with our bags and he forgot his, even though he threw all the
Well,
bags
that's right,
over.
but you didn't know that me and Steph were
No.
gone because
We didn't.
we jumped on the train the next day,
Right.
didn't we? Stranraer and that, and we get the C-cat out.
So your nose born, is that what it is? Your nose was born you?
But aye. I wasn't missing
I'll tell
it.
you what, the sneaky, you and the two Conleys, seen the guy getting through it up.
Hey, hang on.
I never
Hang
seen
on.
him. I never seen him.
Hey, hang on, I was going to get to that bit. I'm going to get to that bit. But me and Steph had a few swallies and the other way, didn't we? Stranraer. And then we were on the Sea-Cat. Then when we got, mere swallies. Then when we got to Belfast,
Mere swallies.
Mere swallies. Missed the train that we were supposed to catch down to Bray, but we got the next one. Then we get down to Bray, and by that time the two of us were bloated. But Steph was dead man nothing all the way down to Bray. So we get out the train at Bray, and I says to Steph, right, what way you going? She's like, I will go this way. I'm like, no, you go that way, I'm going this way. So that's what we done, and then I found a nightclub. I did the stairs of the nightclub, and I'm like, oh yes, this will do for me. So I was sitting at the bar and that, but my eyes were rocking. You know what I mean? Must have been out for a couple of hours, just sitting there swallowing away. My eyes were rocking, and then the bouncers come up and says, listen mate, I've been asked to ask you to leave. I'm not fucking bothering MD. He's like, I know. He says, but you're a bit drunk. I'm like, well, I will give you that, aye. So he's helped me up the stairs and out the front door, and then all yous were standing there. Yous was trying to get in. I don't even know if yous got in eventually because it was full. But yous were trying to get in, and yous put me into a taxi and tell the taxi driver where their digs was. So I've got the woman to open the door at the digs, and she must have thought I was with them. So I've got into the room, and then there was a single bed, a double bed, and another single bed. So right away I'm like, oh, the double bed, and then I thought, oh, hang on now, that means that somebody's jumped in here. Nah, I'm not having that.
You're not drunk.
No, so I'll take the one at the window, the furthest away one. So I'm in there, he'd down steamboats. Then I heard them all coming in. It was Mackay's bed, wasn't it?
All right.
It was raging.
So, did you join him or did you kick him out?
No, I kept. I wasn't moving any of it.
Try you him out of fucking bed, man.
No, I wasn't moving. That was
Who's been sleeping in my bed?
That was a fly move. He didn't want to take because he was booked into their hotel. They'd booked him in.
No, we weren't booked in anywhere. Me and Steph weren't. We were just coming out and invading the first digs that we
I
could
never
find.
seen
Right,
you.
so they didn't want you. So
No, they didn't want it. They never tell us where we
I
were.
never
Where
saw
they stayed.
you and Steph until breakfast the next day. And I went down, McKeever. Last says, you've already signed in for breakfast. Steph had signed my name for breakfast.
Aye, Steph stood at your digs,
Right.
and I stood at their digs.
Well, right.
That's
Because
what
I
it
went
was.
for breakfast. He says, you've had your breakfast.
Because
I said,
Steph's
"No."
ended up funning yous later on. He's ended up funning yous later on. He's
Aye.
went to your digs,
Aye.
but I went to their digs.
if you're going on about stories of the bus, I could be here all right. But I'll tell you one about a time in Tewkesbury.
Right.
This is an absolute classic now. It was we were playing these boys at football. Right, we travelled down in 2 minibuses.
That the one with coffee bus?
1992, coffee bus and the tea, no, the drink bus and the tea.
Tea and cookies, but
And the drink on this bus was unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. So
slabs.
our bride and my wee cousin from Cleland, he went us. We took him down because we needed him to play football. Because Gorman was giving it, he's no beat us and right, okay, so take Brian down. You just get by Corelli's like that. Fucking hell, this is the worst mistake I've ever made in my life. I'm like, have a can, you'll be alright. So anyway, when we go there, they're absolutely minging with a drink. And we all get in this big room up the stair. Had a good night, good swally, but the next day was the FA Cup final, so we went out in the morning. And on that day there was a road run. a half marathon for charity and that. Now, all the people were out in the street, so we were all out giving them a clap and that. As we Paul Gorman and I walked across the road, and there was the Bold Willie with a tray of eggs and a packet of bacon. I'm like, where the fuck are you going? He's like, he says, oh, I chapped that woman's door at the corner there and asked her if she would make her breakfast. And the woman says, if you go away and get the stuff, son, I'll make your breakfast. So there I had a wee look in, and there was him and Big LJ, Luigi and 2 or 3 sitting in the woman's table. Brilliant. And the woman get the breakfast made for them and that. And Gorman's like, this is my town. This is my town. He's like, I said, well, the woman's fucking make the breakfast. I mean, I'm to drive halfway out of the one of the Hingway cafes to get theirs. And that's true,
Aye.
And I'll tell you, it's not the first time he's done it. He done it
See, for listeners, Johnny, go and explain who you're talking about, because a lot of folk will maybe know.
Willie McLean, he's no longer with us. He's just an absolute
hilarious.
A character. He's as much a character as you could get.
Yes.
A little Shamrock legend.
He done it in what do you call it, Jim? Up north, he done it Moville. I was a woman, he chapped the woman's door and asked her to earn the jeans, and I'll be back for them at 5 o'clock. She's like, she looked at him and that, right doll, and away. You sure as fucking back at 5 o'clock? There they were, with the fucking hanger of the law. How he does it, I'll never know.
What was the game we went to with Willie, and we jumped on the minibus and we only got to the M74 and he needed the toilet, and he fell down the hill.
You've only got a game, you've got to choose for it.
He fell down
the hill and he came back up covered nettles and all that.
But he fell out of the minibus before it left the crew.
I'll tell you what, man, about buses. Can I tell you, he not right with him,
Oh, aye, easy.
You used to pick the boys from the mains up.
Aye.
So they fucking pulled in at the 4 ways, right? And then this bus of hunters, it was behind us, but they pulled in front of us. They picked a couple of ex-Rangers, supporters of the ex-Rangers club up, right? So next thing, Willie was went for the toilet, wasn't he? So did Willie runs right out and right onto the fucking...
Oh, no ways!
And it was a complete one, you never know, he was dragged on and never heard it. Aye, that's true, aye. Oh, honestly, with Willie, I mean...
Good to keep up with Willie.
Yeah.
Well, we've got his night out coming up, couple of weeks time, won't
It'll be a good night.
Yeah, in the hall, that's another night in the hall, so Biddy will get you along to that as well.
I'm not happy, his sister stays next door to me, Helen.
There you go.
He's Suffolk.
So she always tells us about it.
But see the thing about the bus, to me, and Biddy, you remember, when we used to run buses to, let's say, Rapid Vienna game, and we were the odd one to the cup final. Well, in the 1985 cup final, we played Dundee United, and I ran a bus, and the bus was full, and I was like, I'm never getting the money off of these guys. I mean,
is that the one with the 1-2-1?
1-2-1. Brian McLean was there, and you were there, and that. And Brian's like, listen, I'll get the money in that. And he made sure they get the money after him. Do you know on the bus that day was Jim? I don't know if you were there, but no, you would have been going with Jim Don't at the time. It was John Haddo and Big Joe Clark.
Yeah.
And I met Big Joe Clark 2 or 3 nights after it. He says, do you know, son, he says, this town has got potential to run a Celtic supporters club. And within 2 or 3 months, the bus was up and running, and our first game was
Indeed.
26 years ago, which I remember well. We get beat 4-1. And that bus has never missed a league game in Celtic Park or Hampton since.
We used to get buses off at Holiday.
Aye.
We used to all just go out together, right? We'll order a bus and we'll all see who all turns up.
Aye. I mean, see on the club website, there's a gallery section, and everybody just keeps firing in stories and pictures and all that. And if you look back some of the pictures, it's class. There's pictures for Dewsbury and Workington.
Stranraer, the story about Stranraer.
Oh, aye. How do you look at me?
They're all chicken.
Were you there that day we all went into Parkhead in the back of Bor, Ronnie Bryson's breed van? And he'd all his band stuff in the back of it. Call you set up all the drums and started shaking the bottles and playing all the music.
So, Barry, tell us a story about the testimonial we were doing at Old Trafford. Do you remember it?
What one was that again? That was Lou Macari's.
Yes.
That was the time we went down and we stopped at Preston. And we laid down and got absolutely mortaled. We go to the park, can't even mind seeing the park. Then I think, did we not go to we got there early and went into the Catholic club,
Catholic club or something, aye.
and we went in there, and all the old women were all sitting playing bingo, and we took it and started
We all
singing all
mixed
the
in.
rebel songs.
We done that.
Then-
We done that at Nottingham, didn't we?
Doncaster.
Then we get put out.
It was against
me
the
and Tony
North
were walking along the front. The polers come along. There Tony with the pint of beer. I said, put it down, we'll take it off you. No. Come along, took it off and poured it out of his seat. So I poured it at the top of his seat, trying to antagonise him to hit him. Next thing the beer's all in and doing his face and everything. Tony says, the big poler, you got a hanky? He says, what for? He says, I'm going to wipe it up and stick it in the white head. Wine on, it's unbelievable. So eventually we get back to where they used to park the buses up where Blackpool's football park was. They parked them all up there. Couldn't fund the bus. Couldn't fund the bus. So eventually, what we're going to do, we've a tenner of tunas. We'll see if we can get a taxi home for a tenner.
To Blackpool.
So we gave the boy a tenner, we get as far as the M6, they took it out there and dropped us off the slip road. So we're sitting in the glass and this is up, and we're like, how are we getting home? We haven't a clue in the world. Next thing, this bus comes round the corner and stops. And they jump off. It was, what do you call the bus we went on that day?
Muirhouse.
Muirhouse.
There's a big part of road now.
How it used to, Tony Kent and me buying the tatties off him.
Aye, Tar Road.
Aye, we went in there and the bus comes round the corner and there me and Tony sitting in the hard shoulder. They'd been running about Blackpool or the police stations trying to see if we'd been lifted. And Eric come round, went straight on the bus, and the first thing Tony says, where's my carrier?
As you do.
What age were you then?
Oh,
That was 1984.
84, that would have been
83, 84.
just about my early 20s.
Aye.
Just 20, 21.
Right. Mind your school years.
I know. Then there was,
Aye. What about yourself, Mr. C?
Me?
Throw a wee story or a character in.
That many.
I don't want you crying when you tell a
Stories,
story.
aye, no.
'Cause you know
I
you
got
get
stories
emotional.
in the bus, but because I worked in the railway, I went a lot with trips. On the train with my mates. I'll tell you what. This is one that I should have written a book about. I don't know if I've ever told it before. I was at the 1970 European Cup final against Feyenoord. I went to train from Glasgow to Milan. Me and this boy that worked beside me. I'm not going to mention his name because he's...
He listens.
I don't know if he listens to it, but he went on to be quite high in business and that. Anyway, this guy and I went in all the way to Milan. And now, we're down to London. From London down to Dover, over on the ferry. We're drinking all the time, you know, on and off. Onto the boat, onto the train to take us from Dover to Milan. It's right through the night, right down straight to Milan. Now, the absolute train was full. A lot of Celtic supporters, umpteen carriages, all the old-fashioned carriages you used to get, you know,
No, we don't know.
no,
no, you're not too young.
You're on about the steam train, aren't you?
Used to be a wee...
Tarzan's the only one that remembers this.
Barely.
And you know the compartments off, and the compartments took...
oh, they're the ones you've seen the old film.
The ones in the
The black and white film.
I mean, I could write a book about this, but I'll only stick to one part here.
Okay.
We're going through France, the middle of France, you know, nothing. You look out the window, all you can see is fields. It's flat, you know how they say Holland's flat. This was flat country in France. Nothing. So we're going about, and you're on this train, and you know what you've got to do, you know, you get your gear out front and out, you know. You can't steal any more out the buffet up. So we, oh, there's a station, it stops at a station. Now the station's in the middle of nowhere, right? It's like Killook in your young days. You know,
right, so.
where it was fields and nothing else, you know, there were no houses.
Yeah,
This is it. It was fields and fields. So my mate says, I'm going to see for a show thing there, a buffet type. And So he jumps off the train. Right? And next time the train takes away.
Oh no.
And I can't fun him.
Right.
And another person, the boys, did you see him coming on? No, he's not on. We don't know where he is. Oh, so we're all running up and down compartments. Can't see him. This goes on half an hour or more. I'm still away out in the middle of nothing, like a desert, on its fields. And through. There's another station coming up. Right? There's another station coming up. In the middle of nowhere, don't know why the stations are there. Start slowing down. Oh, we're stopping here. And there's a guy standing on the platform in the station with the Celtics scarf up. Hail, it's my mate.
He's jumped in the motor.
He'd got off at that station, the first station, he'd went to get something, turned round, the train was leaving and jumped on it. Right? He jumped on the wrong train. So he's on this train looking, oh, this is the wrong train. So, these French guys got a hold of him. And when he came to the next station, threw him off. He says, and I must have been only 2 stations in France that train stopped. And there's the Pakistan. That is true.
That was something
Unbelievable.
What age were you? What were you then, Jim? What age were you when you went to that?
When I went to that, 25.
25? There you go.
Aye.
You've got
No, but
you've
speak about
got
just
good
when
memories,
you know.
About Milan, didn't they know?
No.
That's how I'm not too clever about speaking about Seville.
Aye.
Well, I mean, I definitely could write a book about that journey out of Milan, the things that happened. This boy was
Well, what we'll do is
quite an idiot, you know.
we'll throw in the equation here, we'll get Richard to write a book on our club then.
Well,
We'll contribute stories to it, every one of us.
I'm sure I've told Richard a load of these stories.
I don't want any of my stories in it.
But that's...
They're not clean
That
enough.
was half the battle, wasn't it? Going to away games, the adventures you got up to.
Can you mind years ago, me, you, Coya and Tommy Ferry, and 2 guys went in 2 wee smart Capris to Aberdeen. And they charged us, they robbed us for petrol, £8. No. In the early 80s. Now I'll tell you who one of them was.
Billy McShane.
No, Billy wasn't there, no.
I might go up to
A guy called McClure was one of them for Cleland. Right, do you know who... Right,
Jim McLean
Right.
at Dundee.
aye. Do you know who the other one was? That was in the other motor. Coya went with him, because Coya was in him today with the bakery or something. The other guy was... No, this is true.
You're thinking, buddy.
You don't know who he is, like. He's a suit taker, as I call him now.
Got me thinking.
Peter Martin.
What, off the radio?
Aye,
What?
that's who that was.
Maguire.
I can
Maguire,
mind.
Aye, that's
I
who
can
that was.
mind going with Jim McLean now, but I couldn't mind that other boy.
He went with you... No, me and Tommy were in the motor with Peter and his mate. And you...
That's right, because Tony worked beside him in the bakers, didn't it?
Aye, that's who that other guy was. Peter
All right,
Martin. Selling rebel tapes on the lot. Look at him now.
2-4 Capris.
Oh, they robbed us blind. Maybe we went back to Kelly's.
Behind
Kelly's
Cleland.
bag. We're lucky to get in for a pint.
Yeah, but hang on. I might remember me and you done it with Tommy Ferry, the very man we were talking about whenever I get Jim McIntyre's motor
Aye,
up to Pittodrie.
aye, but he only paid a fiver. This was £7. This was in 1981 or 82.
Folk were drafted to
we had
take mortgage out.
We had the tickets and we had
We
the
thought
motor
we
to
were
go
buying
to
the motor.
Pittodrie, but we didn't have enough petrol money.
All right.
So he's grabbed Tommy at the market earlier. He's like, right, Tommy, can I go to Pittodrie? I've not got a ticket. I can get one up there easy. No chance. No chance. We started calling up Tommy petrol money
Where's
after
Tommy
it.
now?
Oh, he's in America.
Aye, he's in America now, aye.
He's want to say hello to him in case he's listening.
He's
Aye,
not allowed on the...
no, you'll not be allowed on stuff
He's
like
absolutely out of order, wasn't it?
All right.
In fact, that's how you got her in the first place.
Right, guys, that's a great way to finish the show tonight. That was our shambolic section. Okay, on that note, we're going to wrap it up. I'm Michael, and tonight our panel have been
Mr. C.
Johnny.
Tarzan.
Biddy.
Hail, hail.
Hail,
Hail, hail.
The thing I want to see the most is the Glasgow Celtic score. I've been to Munich, been to Paris and Berlin. I watched injustice fall upon you in Turin, and I've shared the pain and glory with the friends that I have made as I dance from place to place in green and white on a worldwide tin parade.